Okay, so we've got an IC2KL here, which is not my favourite thing to fix, but good mate of mine had this for about 30 seconds, the poor guy, and it developed a fault. And he's a great mate of mine, and I just trust him at 200%. He knows how to hook up an amp, and you know what? These things have got protection, a lot of things that are supposed to. Anyway. So what have we done? At the moment, just ignore the fact on the back of this board, right in here, the shield's off. Anyone that sees that's going to say, "Oh, you've got the shield off." Yes, I have. But let me just show you what we have got. Hello, 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 1, 2, hello. Okay, so we're getting our 400 or 500 watts back out of it. So what have I done so far? Well, to be honest, this has been a nightmare, and I'm going to show you on another board why. They have these filter boards. Now, you might say, how come you've got another board? Well, let me take you over to just a little bit further over this direction, and I'll show you why. Because we've got another one sitting right here in pieces, and this is a IC2KL that's been blown to bits, and but it's handy for us to be able to use bits and pieces. So I've been doing a bit of a play. Look. These filter boards, just so you know, they're very problematic, and if you ever sell one of these to a friend like I did and it goes faulty, please don't go crazy at him, because quite seriously they can go at any time, and they what happens is we've reflowed the board in here, and we've got power coming back out of the amplifier. And to be fair to Scotty, and Scotty's a great mate of mine. Anyone that knows Scotty, VK2AUS or 351, he knows how to use equipment. He's a smart boy. So when we developed this issue, I sort of thought, oh, geez, Scotty, let me give you some money back, and I don't know if I can fix it or not. I just sort of don't know. Anyway, it turns out we're getting there, but just a couple of hints on the IC2KL. You don't need to break it down to the stage that you just saw over on that table over there. And I learnt a valuable lesson. This stage here, 1 screw in the back, 3 screws underneath, whole thing pops out. Mark your cables though, just to make sure you're kind of putting things back where they are. This here is coming off 2 PA stages, so they have a twin output. So basically here or here, it doesn't matter. Those two can be changed around. Over here though, your input is very important, and also your J2 or J3. I wrote it down on here. J2 is pretty important. They go right back. Also, be careful of these connectors on the side. Seriously, it is so simple to just bring them one over and think you've got them right. Look, if you're having trouble with sight like me, use one of these. I honestly, I can't live without it now. I hate to admit that I'm that blind, but I am. So we're just going to have to live with the fact that I'm getting older. Okay, so back on just labelling and also connectors. These connectors here, if you get them wrong, you're just chasing a second fault, and that's your problem, is that you'll be sitting there going, what was possibly a board that needs to be redone. Now this board hasn't been redone. We'll probably redo this board and resolder it all. It takes about an hour if you're going to do it properly. A couple of things to be careful of. When you're resoldering, they've got these little inductors near these relays here, all tucked in the side. It's very easy to run your iron over the side here and let one drop. So don't go too fast. Be thinking about the components that you're actually soldering, because along those lines, and especially when you've got it sort of tipped over, you've got inductor, etc. Now, at the moment, they look like they're coming through quite well. As a practice, make sure that you're soldering one, let it set. Don't be going so fast you're going to the other and you're letting the thing drop. It's really easy to do. All these areas here, heavily reflow them. They need it. They really do suffer. And we've still got a bit of a switching issue. Now, I'll tell you what the switching issue is. I don't mind being a bit honest here. Have a look. Linear off, linear on, linear on. Comes back, linear off, but there we're getting hello. So we've still got a little issue there, and I haven't had a chance yet to just get into that, but quite seriously. I'm not trying to act like I'm totally stupid, but truthfully, I've been on this 4 or 5 hours, reflowing boards, doing bits and pieces. I too could have a lead. I'll need to check these 2 leads here, just their source, and make sure that we haven't got something backwards. But I don't think it is. I think we've got a real strange fault going on here, as well as the other fault, which is. And if you said to me, which board are you now using? Is this board from the stuffed one or the one that came in from Scotty? I think I've had them out so many times I couldn't tell you. Anyway, in the end, look, it doesn't matter. The goal is actually to get them both going. So, you just track the fault as it's there. But I'll keep you updated with this. But it was just really one of those things where one comment got made to me and I was pretty harsh on it. And I'm not going to apologise. Someone said, look, the guy that bought it's blown the finals. How many times do you hear that? The guy that's bought it's blown the finals. Well, let me tell you, the guy that's bought it didn't blow the finals, these amps are not simple. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. This output stage here, just so you know, they're 2SC 26 somethings. Can't read them now. 26. Always 2652. I don't know. Anyway, and they have on the other side of this the exact same board operating in parallel. So basically, when you see, like I've had all these leads out, as you can see, I've resoldered leads. Actually, we had a crimp we've got to have a look at too. Have a look here. Now, it's not affecting the but have a look. Just see that crimp there? So we'll actually fix that before we call this fixed. But now that was on Scotty's, the one that Scotty had. So to be fair, that had to be fixed regardless. It wasn't good that he had that. And, that could have been a fault that, turned up 12 months down the track and suddenly Scotty's saying to me, hey, mate, listen, your amp's done really well for 12 months. Can I just send it down to you, to have a look, see what's going on? And I know Scotty wouldn't have expected any sort of warranty, but what I'm seeing here on this cable here, he bloody should expect warranty because it's a fault now. So what I can say is just 100%. These boards have been out before. These finals have been changed before. I can see it's so obvious that this lead was put in and someone crimped it to the back of and it's caused it hasn't caused an issue, but it will. So we're going to replace that lead as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back to finding out just exactly why I've got a bit of a switching issue, but we don't have a power issue. Hello, 1 2. Yep. So we're getting loads and loads of power out of it. So once again, just the caution to those that sell bits and pieces and things go a little bit haywire. Do not blame the buyer every time because it's not the buyer sometimes, You've got to keep a level head. Ben Shapiro says it best. Facts don't care about your emotions. And the facts of this case here is that I think it's developed a dry joint on the filter board. We've reflowed the filter board, which will reflow this one as well. If you said to me the switching fault, is that something that it came in with? No. I think we've developed that fault as we've been changing boards and trying to work out what the heck's going on. So welcome to the world of mucking around with things you probably don't know well enough sometimes. But, in this trade, for me, hobby, you've just got to learn as you go. First time I've been on a 2KL, and I've got to say I've learned a lot. But I've been on it 4 or 5 hours, so commercially, I wouldn't make a good tech, because it'd cost too much. But look, what I can say is that, I know now that we will get it going, so which is great news. And I also know that, 100% that my mate Scotty just was a poor victim of something I sent him that didn't bloody work, and worked when we did the last video on it, but obviously, that filter board was going to go at some stage, and it's just needed to be resoldered up and redone. All right, hopefully the next video you see will be a fully working amp with no switching issues that we're seeing at the moment, but I'm pretty happy that we've got the PA stage all up and running. Look, the rest I can work out fairly simple, so I won't take you through the repair of that. As I said, look, I'll check my cabling. Could even be a cabling issue. I don't think so, because we're pretty anal about, marking different things with bits of red tape and stuff. So, but still, got to double check your own work sometimes. And for me, look, I'm getting older. I'm just getting less bloody patient with this stuff sometimes. And I've got to tell you, that can affect your judgment at times. It's been a little bit painful today, to be honest. I normally have a much better attitude with these things, but I was walking back and forth between here and over there, and I was sort of going, oh, geez, I need more space. And the truth is, I have space. I'm just going to make it clean space, so we'll work on that too. All right, 73s from VK3 Charlie Mike. I hope this sort of gives you a little bit of an insight into the IC2KL. Please don't take it as an expert's view. I'm sort of learning as I'm going with these, and anybody that knows a bit more about them than I do, please leave comments on YouTube, leave comments on Facebook. I don't get put out by people that say, hey, listen, you've got this wrong, you need to go check this, because I'm never going to learn otherwise. And it's been a while for me, especially on ham radio gear. Anyway, thanks very much for looking at this video. This will be the IC2KL from VK3 Charlie Mike. Cheers all.